What's happening? What's happening? You already know what time it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Birdcage. You already know how we get down every night on Thursdays. Before we provide you any kind of content tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you're on our Facebook, please click on the StreamYard link so we can interact with you during the show. Now, if you don't want to be on Facebook, and it's okay, you can slide on over to YouTube. And again, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. We definitely enjoy bringing you content. So we want to make sure that you subscribe it so we can continue to keep bringing you content and keep bringing you the stuff that is actually made of legends. You already know how we get down, baby. Birdcage, we out.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, good people? You already know what time it is. It's 8 p.m. It's time for the cage, baby. We got a lot of good material for you tonight. But before we get to that, again, as we stated before, please, if you are in Facebook, click the StreamYard link so we can connect with you in there. Also, if you are on YouTube, please click the subscribe button. But before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing my guys into the building tonight. We got my man Killer K Dub coming into the fold tonight. What's going on, Killer K Dub? Welcome to the cage tonight, brother.
What it is, what it do, BirdCage LLC. We own it, popping. Like I said, we're getting closer to OTAs. I want to say thank you to all subscribers, all viewers, everybody tuning in, checking in. We got a lot of things in store for y'all tonight. I appreciate everybody stopping through. It's going to be jam-packed. Let's go. Let's get into it. I can't wait for it. Let's go.
You already know what it is, man. And then we also got to bring into the building tonight. We got to bring in some other guests. We got our man, the one and only Graybeard, better known as Glenn. What's going on, Graybeard?
Birdcage. The freaking Birdcage. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing this evening?
Shoot, we good. But we also got to bring in our fourth leg to the table for right now. Our man, Coach Cam, finally out of that Arizona heat and actually in the cool air right now, getting ready to do a little something. So you already know how it go. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on, BirdCage LLC? My family, what's going on? Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you know we got a good show lined up. Facebook user, we see you. We see you. What's good, family? Make sure that you click that StreamYard link so we can see who it is that's coming in here, chiming in with us tonight. We got a jam-packed show for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. But before we get to that or whatnot, we got to get to our Out the Cage segment. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had that Out the Cage segment. But you already know how it goes down in the building. So the way that the Out the Cage segment works for anybody that's here for the first time, we talk about a lot of NFL news that's trending around the league. So it's not just Falcons material at the beginning, but we definitely have some good material for you. So let's go ahead and jump on our Out the Cage segment. You already know how we get down. Let's talk about, speaking of Falcons, former Falcon Julio Jones is still unemployed. Does that surprise you? Or do you think somebody's going to be foolish enough to spend some money and put him on a roster? I'm gonna go ahead and start with Coach Cam because he's in the building for the first time in a while tonight. So, Coach Cam, what do you think, brother?
I mean, this is expected, honestly. The league is looking to go younger and not older. And then with Julio and his injury history, it doesn't surprise me that not a lot of teams want to take him on. And then with the last couple of years that he's been in the league, he's been a diva. He's wanted things his way, and he wants certain money, and he only plays a handful of snaps throughout the season. So it doesn't surprise me, and it's almost expected to see him still hoping to be put on to get a roster spot. But I just don't see it happening unless it's a contender who loses a receiver sometime late in the season. But honestly, this is expected.
Hmm. Well, I mean, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, so you got to look at it for what it is. It's just one of those situations where you sit back and you're like, well, when are you gonna go ahead and hang it up, brother? Because you're at this point, you're past your prime. It's pretty much like getting an old school Cadillac without a good engine in it. Let's just be real on that. And then you got the rims dented up, the feet are damaged. At one point, you pretty much was the coldest car at the players' ball. Now you just pretty much are just banged up hoopty. So sliding on, let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this to my man Graybeard.
I mean,
So
I agree with.
Tua Tagovailoa has been hyped up by Tyreek Hill since Tyreek has moved to Miami and left Kansas City. But Tua can't stay healthy. That's a problem. Like we said, the league is all about what have you done for me lately and what type of availability are you going to bring to the table? What do you think that Tyreek Hill is going to, with him giving this banter about Tua, how do you think that Tua is going to respond this year? And do you think that he could lead Miami and stay healthy during the season?
You gotta ask that question that you ask. Can he stay healthy? I mean, I think Tyreek Hill pretty much, trying to be the good make him up. And he came off that head injury last year, and he even contemplated you th- contemplating on retirement. So I mean, I think with Tua, man, the key is he have to stay on the field. He have to stay healthy. So it's gonna be organization and that coaching to get him the necessary player, especially up front, to protect him and whatnot. And then at the same time, they gotta let Tua know, look, man, you can't be taking hits. If it look bad, fall down, slide. Whatever you need to do. You need to start protecting yourself. Take a page off Russell Wilson. How he always slide and get protect him, whatever the case may be. I mean, he can play, he can ball, but the fact is though, he can't stay healthy. If you can't stay healthy, you're pretty much no good. So I just think with Tua, the number one thing on everybody in Miami, especially in that front office,
You hold your breath every time he takes a shot. Literally, you hold your breath because let's be honest. Tua hasn't been right since he messed up his hip at Alabama in that Mississippi State game. He's dealt with so many injuries from then on. And unfortunately, you know, he still went in the first round, but it seems like ever since he hurt his hip, his game, he's never been able to be on the field. So we got to say what's up to our guy Daniel Ryan Woodall. We see you in the building, baby. What's happening? What's happening? But I think that Tua is going to be in a situation to where he's got to change some things. He's got to really change and think about protecting himself, not just for football. You got to start protecting yourself for life because at this point and stage in the game, you're not getting no younger. As Coach Cam said earlier, football is a young man's game, and they're going younger and younger. And when you start getting injuries and getting nicked up, it's like we said, it's like having a brand new car taken off the lot. The value of a player goes down as soon as they're drafted. It's just like a car. They have to earn their way.
Yeah. One more thing before you go to the next point. Would you want to fully invest into a dude and fully invest in him, give him a big contract, even though with his freaking
No.
Let me
That's
No.
know. The man had three. He had three concussions just in the past season alone.
right.
Since his injury at Alabama, the man has had seven concussions in a span of 4 years.
Yep.
He's
I mean,
going on. This is going on his fifth season. The man had seven concussions. Andrew Luck had, I want to say, what, four? And the man is out the
Uh,
league now. Five.
yeah, yeah,
So
5.
he's out the league now. Tua's had seven, and he's still. So who's to say that the next hit ain't gonna put his lights off completely? So he's
Exactly.
gonna have to
he
learn.
has,
He's going to have to throw the ball away. I'll take a penalty before I allow him to take a hit.
Right. You got to
yeah,
do
he
both.
has been taking some kind of like jujitsu courses or something like that, learning how to fall correctly.
Something. Hey, call back Ryan. He'll teach you.
Well,
He'll teach you.
remember Ronnie Lott during his playing days and whatnot to help out with his pain tolerance and not just
Yeah,
pain tolerance, also being able to protect himself. Ronnie Lott is a black belt. People don't know this. The man took jiu-jitsu and karate while he played for the 49ers. Because if you've ever looked at his football life, his sensei that he was working with years ago, Ronnie Lott is still active. So he not only was a weapon on the field physically, even off the field, he was nice with his hands and his feet. So you have to figure out something to teach yourself how to protect yourself. So sliding on to the next area, since we're sliding, we're gonna slide out to Vegas, without the slot machines and the running mates, box cars don't stretch me out now, as my man Pee Wee from Bebe's Kids would say. I'm gonna leave that alone. If you're under 30 years old, you might not know about it. But other than that, so Devontae Adams is he's pretty much in a displeasant mood with his situation with the Raiders right now. And, speaking on his former quarterback, who is now a division rival of ours, he's not too happy about that because he left Green Bay and left the situation where he was unhappy with Aaron Rodgers. And now you have Jordan Love coming into play. And now he's got Jimmy Garoppolo, who really can't stay healthy at all. How do you feel this is going to also put him in a situation to where he's going to be disgruntled and he's really trying to get out of there, even though they signed him and he's locked in for the next couple of years? Do you think he's going to be he's going to be able to get along with Jimmy G? And do you think this marriage with the Raiders is going to last?
No. With the news that came out, I want to say it was yesterday. Jimmy G, his contract is voided now, so he's not even a Raider.
Hmm.
So who's going to be throwing the ball to Devontae? Um, and he went there to play with his buddy, like his friend. That was his buddy. They went to school together. They grew up together, so they have a relationship. And then after 1 year, you didn't even let that relationship grow. You got rid of him after 1 year, and it wasn't all bad play on Derek Carr's part. It was also play calling. So for Devontae to go from a Hall of Fame quarterback to now not knowing who's going to throw him the ball this upcoming season, I mean, it's not an ideal situation for $100 million man that you're
Well,
going to try to build your team around now with no quarterback.
Right.
but
Killian,
also,
what do you think about it?
yeah, I mean, this is coming off his second, team. You got to stuff. You got to actually be a man and play that contract out because you don't want to be labeled in the league as a crybaby because you can't get your way of who's throwing you the football. This is a business. First and foremost, we don't care who you play with in school or college or a little league either. So, I mean, he got to put his big boy pants on, and whoever's throwing him the football, at least get through this season, and then if he can go into the office and ask for a trade or what there may be after this season, yes. But he's really just got to Las Vegas. Really, he's still like fresh there. He only played a season or two, so I mean, he has to honor that contract to me in my eyes. But people may feel different. That's what I think about that situation.
I mean, he's gonna honor the contract. I just think with the Adam, he's like, look, I just need somebody to get me the ball because they went and got Jimmy G to fill in that void. Even though why he had they voided his contract is they don't even know he's gonna pass the team physical.
He
That's
felt that.
that's the reason why they voided the contract. And now Devontae like, well, hell, I just left one Degasta to come to another Degasta. So I put the quarter on McDaniel because I think they should have gave freaking Carr at least one more year to
I,
really deal with that offense and with the play calling. and whatever the case.
But but here's the thing, Carr wasn't McDaniel's guy. Let's be
No,
real on that. Jimmy G is actually his guy. That was
yeah,
his guy in New England. So he's bringing in a guy that's familiar with the system. He's bringing in a guy who understands what he wants on the field and production. That's what he's doing. Now, the question is, are you going to get a full season out of this guy? Because he has yet to perform and have a full season where he can be healthy. The last time he was fully healthy, he was sitting behind Tom Brady, fetching towels and giving him Gatorade and bringing him his bagels. Let's just be real. I'm sorry. And those are his organic wheat bagels because Tom Brady is a health nut. So you already know that he had him doing that. But sliding down, we gonna keep it in the wide receiver range because this is gonna also tie into our Dirty Bird topic, but this is gonna come into our last topic for the page. You all right over there, player?
Yeah.
Gotta make sure you good over there, my guy.
Hey, it's hot, bro.
I know what you mean. But so the Cardinals cut DeAndre Hopkins. He's still looking for a new home right now. So that kind of falls into, we're going to get into our stuff, our segment in a little bit. But this is going to fall into what we do a little later because we're going to bring that back up because it's Falcons related. But for the Cardinals just to cut out DeAndre Hopkins the way that they did, do you think that was a smart move on their part? Or do you think that, they're trying to salvage money so they could bring in players that actually have a halfway decent season?
I think
yeah,
they're doing the same thing that the Falcons did when they're trying to clear house, clear cap, and try to build around the newer nucleus. I mean, so the same sense when we got rid of Julio Jones, they're doing all out the same thing. So they're trying to clear up cap. Like going back to what I was just saying, this is a business. D-Hop can't get upset. He just got to find another suitor that's willing to pay that tag. I mean, as the Falcons looking at it, I just feel like they're the better, cheaper, younger options for us to have a number wide receiver too. So I feel like the Falcons stay away from them. That's just my opinion.
well, the thing,
Well, wait a minute. We ain't gonna talk Falcons yet. We just talking Cardinals. We gonna slide the Falcons in there a little later.
Okay,
We'll slide them in there a little later because see, we finna have something. Fixing to have something to talk about today, my brother. Because see, it's kind of like you just hit me with some smelling salt, and that's the worst thing you could have done. Now my eyes are like sauces. I'm looking in your soul right now. I want you, just like Uncle Sam said. I want you.
All right.
So now me and you finna be bumping heads tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got something for you tonight. But getting back to it, I get why the Cardinals cut him because at this point, man, you might as well just tear the whole thing down and start over because it's from Cliff Kingsbury getting fired to everything else that's going on with Kyler Murray not being in charge of that locker room because Kyler Murray is nothing but a spoiled brat. It's just not good. It is not good at all. So when you look at it, all you can do is just sit back and shake your head and say, well, damn, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to put yourself in? Are you going to put yourself in a position to where you're really in a spot where, hey, it's just one of those things. So all we can do is just sit back and just wonder now, especially with the Falcons. With them coming up, what are they going to do? What kind of stuff, what kind of moves are they going to make? And what are we going to put out, what are we going to put ourselves in position-wise? But outside of the Falcons, we're going to go ahead and slide down to our Falcons. We're going to get to our Dirty Bird topics. So, ladies and gentlemen, for you who are joining us for the first time, I'm the historian Ryan Walker. We got Killian K. Dugworthy, better known as Clutch. We got Coach Cam, and then we got our man Graybeard at the bottom. You already know how it goes or whatnot. So we're in a position now where we're going to talk a little Falcon football. We've already kind of covered a couple of main events around the league. It's not much movement in the league right now because the offseason is just getting started. Paperwork is still being filed before the real camp and everything starts. So the first thing we're going to cover, speaking of paperwork, let's talk about this paperwork that's been changed. the rule change for kickoffs. So now you have a chance to we have a chance to salvage Cordell Patterson's record for kick returning now because of how now the league is. They're more worried about at this point in juncture. They're more worried about the safety of the players. They're taking, to me, and I'm gonna let you guys chime in on it because heck, I was a hitman back in the day. Yeah, outside of being a safety, I played on special teams. I loved it because you set the tone with that, whether it's returning the kick, setting a nice block to have a guy to take it all the way like Cordell Patterson does, or you're going to make a big hit to literally set your defense on fire where they're going to feed off of that emotion. So honestly, I think you sitting here changing these rules to where it's going to hurt the return game. I think this is one of the worst things that could ever happen because it's just not suitable. And now you're getting ready to have guys losing their jobs, and you're about to see a lot of guys getting trimmed off the roster because they can't keep a job as a special team. I'm gonna start with Graybeard because we've started everywhere else tonight. I got to start with Graybeard with this. How do you feel the NFL has now taken jobs away from guys that probably might not ever get on the field except as a special team? How do you feel about that?
I mean, we should have seen this coming, man. We should have seen this coming when they started talking about at the last collective bargaining agreement about the kickoff return with concussion protocol, whatever it could be. They were keying in on kickoff and special team off bat, and the way they looked at the college and how they now like you fair catch it and you can get it at the 25. Now look, now we can fair catch it and get it at the 25 right now. And just like you said at the beginning, now you're going to be pretty much now players that needed that just to make the team may not make the team now because you're taking that option away from them. So to me, I'm just being honest like a fan here. Football, it will always be violent, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Flag football is violent. No, and you ain't tackling nobody, you just taking the flag off the way. No matter what you do, it's going to be a violent sport. All you
Of
can
course.
all you can do is minimize it the best way you can. So I mean,
So
proper equipment, protocol, technique, whatever you have to go to. So now, I mean, you might well just call it the Flag Football League of America now, because that's pretty much the way they're gearing towards.
and speaking of flag football, we got a guy that probably could diagnose plays and literally be in a situation where he can dial up an offense, but it wouldn't matter because I'd be sitting there coming at his receivers anyway. What's going on, Coach Brant? Welcome back to the cave.
What's up,
Hey,
Coach?
check out this backdrop I got going on right now.
Oh, I
Now
love
you
that.
want to sit here and be petty right about now. Now you want to be petty right about now. You at least can have a beer on hand.
BirdCage on the beach.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. How y'all doing?
Doing
Yes,
good,
y'all.
Coach.
Been
What's
busy.
going on, man? Congratulations on your son becoming a doctor now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
He,
and
he's getting a
congratulations
couple
on
of
you
weeks
handling the
off.
corporate bosses.
That's right. Yeah. So I've taken me a week to chill, just hang out. So
Understand.
good to see y'all.
So the question that we have tonight, since you just happened to pop in, with the rule changes with special teams, it's literally getting ready to take away the kick return. So as a former offensive coordinator, you understood that special teams was something that literally set the tone of a game, not just set the tone of a game. You also set up great field positioning with kick returns. And now you're getting ready to take that element out of the game because they're saying that they're worried about safety of players and injuries, and they don't really want to deal with that. But the thing is, most of these players now don't even understand what it's like to even really be hit. Let's just be honest.
Oh yeah, it was a different world back then. Yeah. One thing I can say as offense coordinator, I'd be really excited though, the way that it is, because it automatically takes me out of the black zone because I know I'm not going to have any penalties starting off inside my own 10 or back inside my own 20. So I can come out of the gate running my offense instead of a guarded offense, not to make mistakes. So you're in your regular offense right out of the bat. As long as you fair catch it or do whatever needs to be done, then that's easy. So I mean that's a good thing as far as offense goes. It's gonna put a little more pressure on the defense. So
Yeah, it does. It does. But now you're actually. I think they're taking that away from. I think they're taking it away because they're trying to make it fair because offense has a lot of advantages now. But when you talk about that special team side of the game, it's like, wow, that was something that really was a huge contributor.
right.
So,
Well,
Killian, how do you feel about this?
Well, I feel like I mean, it's like a balancing act, but I really feel like taking the fun out of the game. I mean, I understand they're trying to change the game for health and safety reasons, but when you make a rash decision, a decision when you're young, when you're playing to high school and to college. I mean, the education on the sport. I mean, the education has been done. Yeah, so you're making a
Agreed.
decision to basically help your and better.
Killian, you cutting out.
I said you're bettering your ability to go to the NFL by when you make those decisions when you're in college or pros. I mean, I just feel like they're taking the fun out of the game, and they need to basically I mean, get used to it, but from my opinion, I feel like they're taking it's a no fun league, and every year they're taking fun away from the league and from the game. So I mean, just my opinion on it. But if they're going to change the game, just feel like we'll get used to it, and it may take just like a lot of changes that have happened to the league over the years, and then we'll get through it and go by with it.
Well, pretty much you sounded like a quarterback's helmet for the last like 15 seconds or whatnot. So you were just chopped up and in and out. So we really didn't hear you on that last. We heard the last statement, but we really didn't hear you too heavy on the other stuff that you were saying.
His coach at the beach.
Nah, that's you chopped up on that one.
No, you can't hear me?
We can now. A little bit, but
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to be chopped up. You can hear me now. Everybody can hear me clearly?
Yes.
I guess Cam also
fun out of the game.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll go on to the next.
Yeah, coach, that's you and your beat sound. That's what that is now.
You want me to back away from the water?
Yeah, because we can hear the wind and we're hearing everything that comes with it.
Up at night.
Well, your boys from the Coast Guard just flew over in a chopper. They literally just flew over.
Always ready. Simple Paredes, baby. We don't practice our job. We do our job. Told you. They walk on water with Jesus.
I know it. I waved at him.
Hey, hold on. You might get some people thrown at you. Tell them you know me.
Can you everybody now?
But getting back to it though, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this defensive back room now. Let's go ahead and switch it. Since we're talking about special teams, we're gonna bring it over to the side of the ball that benefits from special team stops on the defensive side. Jessie Bates, since he has shown up, has started to put pressure in this defensive back on the back end. We finally got a real safety in the back that understands how to play pool, as Coach Brandt likes to use it. And you have a guy that's a student of the game and a guy that's going to start off the rip because of the type of money that we're paying him. And outside of the money that they're paying this man, we also have to look at the fact that Richie Grant right now is in a prove-it year. A lot of people get mad when I speak on him, but it's like, Richie Grant is in a proven year. Jalen Hawkins is in a spot where he's going to be competing for a second-string job for this season, but possibly he could be a starter at strong safety or whatnot for the Falcons. And then you got the kid Helms that just got out of Alabama, who is a bit raw, but he has the ability to become a very, very good safety. So I'm gonna let Coach Cam start on this one. On the defensive side of the ball, Jessie Bates has already made an impact in that room because you see that they're shuffling pieces right now. What do you think his impact is going to be on the field as well as being a leader because he's coming in with a lot of expectations off the rip already?
Well, with being an all pro, that comes with the territory. He's helped lead Cincinnati to a Super Bowl. He helped lead them to the conference championship the year before. So he knows how to lead the defense from by example, and he preaches it. The thing is, we have a guy by the name of Richie Grant who's really going to have to show and prove this season because if you don't, he's on the outs. He doesn't take good angles. He can't tackle anyone inside of a wet paper bag. So he's going to have to step his game up because if you don't, like in all honesty, I said this offseason, he should have been a player that we moved for a draft pick or another player. He hasn't done enough, in my opinion, to sustain a spot with his team. Jalen Hawkins has shown up and he's proven himself where he can step on the other side of Jessie Bates to complete the back end. That's just my opinion. I'll speak highly on it. But honestly, when it comes to our secondary, our corners are going to have to step up because he's going to demand that out of them. He's not going to allow them to rest on their skill sets. They're going to have to remote themselves every game. They're going to have to show something different every game. So once we get to see what he's going to demand of them, we're going to see what this defensive back room is going to put on the field. Because if it doesn't, especially with our DB coach, Mr. Gray, it's not going to pan out for a lot of these guys because he's going to demand perfection, and he's going to get it one way or another. So
Remember last week we had former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver and Jacksonville, Florida native and legend Nazarella Worthy. So, and he talked about his days when he went up against Jerry Gray, and he spoke about Jerry Gray was an intelligent player, physical at the point of attack when he tackled, good with his hands, and had great speed. So when you talk about that, it's a lot of requirements that that Coach Gray is going to have. But moving on because we're not going to beat this with a dead horse. You already know how we get out with it. Speaking of that, let's get to the good stuff. Killian, let's get to the good stuff. D-Hop, would he or would he not be a good addition to the Falcons if the price is right? And could he help the wide receiver room and help groom Drake London? Let's get it.
He really could help groom Drake London, but I just really feel like we need to go with a younger and more explosive option. You know what I'm saying? Because D-Hop is more or less on the latter end, like I was saying earlier. And I feel like we got other options that we can go after that I've been looking at, and we got good options, the Jets, they have to make a decision with Corey Davis, and then they make a decision with Ayuk. So we need to be able to get them on the phone, offer some kind of package, and bring those guys in for a viable. I mean, if you're sold on Mac Hollins, then that's great, but he's only really one great flash. Have a great body. Some of the other guys that I said that are younger and a bit faster. And
Coach, hold on real quick. Coach Brent, I think your mic, I was gonna say we're picking up a whole bunch of feedback in the back with the beach. And we can't really hear Killian. Can you mute your mic real quick?
Yeah, he's muted the mic. Thank you.
Yeah,
Coach.
cool. All right, go ahead. So because we couldn't hear what he was saying or whatnot. So when we gonna bring it back to you, so we want to hear what you got to say too. So after Killian comes in. So go ahead, Killian.
Yeah, what I was saying is D-Hop would be a great addition to our team to, help lead and show Drake London how to be a great pro, but he almost hit 1,000 yards without any help. I feel like we need to go after a younger and cheaper and a more explosive option that are not so in their latter year of their career. We need to. I have two options that I've been looking at. Brandon Ayuk for the San Francisco 49ers. And
They re-signed him.
They
We
did.
signed him.
They re-signed him.
So what about Corey Davis? Is he still a viable option, or did they re-sign him?
I don't know about Corey Davis.
Decent player, not consistent enough. Just saying.
Injury prone.
Injury prone. That's why I said not consistent enough. Because availability is your best ability. Let's be real. D-Hop, I say this. All right. He's a veteran receiver. He's cagey. If the price is cheap, I said if it was cheap. If he wants too much money, no.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. But here's the thing. Drake London, yeah, he got almost 1,000 yards last year. He got pretty much close to 1,000 yards last year on his own. But now you're going to have him to learn from one of the best route runners in the NFL. D-Hop wasn't the greatest when it came to his speed. He was quick, but he wasn't blazing fast. However, you can't coach hands and coach feet like that. That's something that you're born with. And for him to be born with such a natural gift, even as an old player, he still has great route running. He still knows how to get open and get to those spots. He knows how to make key catches at big time situations. You've got a young quarterback in Desmond Ridder who has a young receiver. You bring a veteran receiver in that's going to make him comfortable, that will help him out, that will help build his confidence as well. This is what else he brings to the table. He can also help teach this kid when they're breaking down film how to read the secondary and pretty much your second line of defense with those linebackers, and how he can actually fit passes into coverages. Outside of fitting passes into coverages, he's also going to be able to understand throwing lanes, when to throw it, when not to, with a veteran like that. So I get what you're saying about young receivers, but let's be real. A young cat is not going to be able to help a young quarterback and also balance another guy out. He's going to learn on the fly with OJT. But my thing is, why not bring a guy in here that's going to help? Because Mac Hollins is inconsistent. Let's just be real. That's why he's been bounced around from team to team. Then you got the kid that we picked up from Tampa who can't stay on the field. You know, little Wes Welker or whatnot. You know, I call him Wes Welker, the cheap version of Wes Welker. That's the Payless version. That's the best way to describe it. But the difference is he can't stay healthy. And, you know, you look at it. We truly don't have a bona fide number two. Everybody is saying Kyle Pitts. Everybody is saying Jonnu Smith. I get it because they're good, but you need another wide receiver on that outside that can stretch a defense. That's my argument. And the thing is, the type of respect and fear that D-Hop brings to this team, he bring that to the team. And secondary coaches and also defensive coordinators will have to plan for that. Let's be real, bro. D-Hop will bring a presence to where it opens it up, where Kyle Pitts can get to 1,000 yards. You got Drake London who can have at least 5 or 6 touchdowns. You have Jonnu Smith who can have 3 or 4, 5 or 6 touchdowns during the season, maybe 7 or 8. So it's a presence and a respect that he brings. Not only that, he also opens it up for Bijan Robinson in the passing game as well. Because if you have a one-on-one coverage with D-Hop, you're gonna lose that majority of the time. Just saying.
If we can make the money
so many things that he could bring, bro.
No, he can bring a lot of that, but if we can make the money work, yes. I think he'll take snaps and balls away from those young guys that we're trying to develop. I just feel like we throw another young guy in that can bring us about 400, 500, 600 yards. We don't need a D-Hop. That's just my opinion on it.
Well, I hear you. We can agree to disagree on that one, because my thing is I'm telling you from a perspective of seeing a guy that's running at you like that. Let's just be real, because Coach Brandt can actually attest to that with him being an offensive coordinator. When you get a veteran receiver that's cagey and that can run routes, I'll tell you like this. Cliff Branch in his old age, God rest his soul, he was Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill. Three-time Super Bowl champ, NFL Hall of Famer. That man was one of the most precision route runners that you would ever have, and he literally was a track star as a wide receiver. And even in his old age, if you ever look back at the last Super Bowl that the Raiders won in 1983, everybody gives Marcus Allen that credit because he had a hell of a game. But Cliff Branch made a Hall of Fame cornerback and Darrell Green look awful and looked like he was standing still. Literally, that whole game, Darrell Green couldn't do anything with him. So when you talk about a veteran presence in that, I believe that he could bring that to. I think he could bring that to what we're trying to do and help our running game. Coach, what do you think?
I'm going to go against the grain on all of you. I think you're bringing somebody in to be a mentor right now, more so than a number two, and to teach people. I'm going to give you two names. One of them's going to cost more than the other one, but if you're wanting somebody just to teach somebody how to do routes and could possibly still contribute somewhat, I say you go get Sanu, or that's on, you're getting that on the cheap, or you bring back Julio. It just not for the performance factor, but how to be a pro, how to prepare. He's going to make your Kyle Pitts in London and all those guys better. He's got that same frame, and he can teach them. So
Would
now,
you trust Julio after he left the way that he did?
You're getting into the fact that can he stay healthy? But I would lean to him more than I would D-Hop, just to be honest with you. I think his game would suit the other ones better, in my opinion.
Well, the physicality that Drake brings to the table is like Julio, but the difference is Julio was a hell of a route runner. It pains me to say this because we know we got some Alabama fans on here. Every Alabama wide receiver that has come out since Nick Saban has been there, every Alabama receiver, they all are great route runners. Every last one of them. And you bring in a guy like Drake. Drake is raw. Drake needs somebody that's going to help him learn how to run routes. And here's the thing. I can't trust Julio after the way he left. I'm sorry. I can't trust that he's going to be invested in trying to help somebody out after he had problems with this same management that we have right now. Let's just be real. I get when you say going against the grain. I take Sanu. I would take Sanu more so than Julio because the way Julio left, it was an ugly divorce. And you don't want to bring that type of cancer into the life.
But hold on one second. You also got to know that it's a business side of it, and we don't know everything that went on too. You're hearing one side of the story, and listen, as a business guy, can you really fuss at them for taking the contract that they gave them? They signed off on it.
Yeah, but the thing was but it wasn't. But here's the thing. That was Dimitrov that signed off on it, the old regime. But the new regime that's in here with but think about it. You got Terry in here. You got Arthur Smith. They were butting heads because they were expecting Julio to lead in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is
he checked out before they got here. Though. He was gone before they got here. He was gone before they got here.
All I'm gonna say is this. Terry and Arthur was here. Terry and Arthur was here when Julio was here. He left after he only played 1 year with those guys. He left.
He left the first year. They got rid of Matt Ryan.
Yeah. He wasn't here. Pitts.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. He left. It was what's the guy's name? He's at the top. Rich McKay. Rich McKay was still here, so that's him.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's a conversation. You look at him and go, "Hey, look, man, you got to do A, B, and C, and we're going to pay you D. But if you don't do A, B, and C, you're going to be unemployed. Simple as that." He ain't got a job right now. I'd rather have 50% of $5 than 100% of $1.
But there's a reason he ain't got a job. He been stealing checks. He been stealing checks his last two teams.
But Ryan, let's think about it. If your boss says, "Ryan, I'm going to pay you $50,000 a year," okay, whatever it is, and then the next guy comes in and goes, "I'm going to pay you 35." Yeah, but I was making 50. Yeah, we're paying you 35. You can't be mad because it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a business. People forget about that. So you're literally making him a gun for 1 year to teach and to show up and to help. He's a Dwight Freeney is basically what you're hiring him as.
But here's the thing: would you Would you trust him to help mold this young guy? That's my question. Would you trust him to be all in on that?
I mean, here's my question: D Hop
You
implement?
But here's the thing: when
do
have you
what?
ever minus D Hop leaving Houston? When have you really heard him become a locker room problem?
Oh no,
Because there was a lot. Think about it. It was a lot that was said. They said Julio became more of a diva and became a locker room cancer. So you want
Exactly.
to bring somebody who's a locker
No,
room cancer
not at
back
all. No.
that already has that problem. I get what you're saying on the business side, but let's be real. You bring him back, that's a problem. I would rather take my chances with Sanu if I'm not gonna have D Hop. I get what you're saying. I agree with you on Sanu, but Julio, nah, I'll pass.
It's a new thing, but has D Hop even said that he wants to be mentoring and teaching somebody, or does he just want to keep playing and
I
being?
that's
think D Hop is in a position where he realizes that his days are numbered, and I think he wants to be on a winning squad because you look at what happened to him. He was only on one winning team in Houston with Deshaun Watson. Him and JJ Watt won. He's been losing everywhere he has gone since he's been in the league. Let's just be real on that, bro. He
But
wants to be in a situation where he could possibly win and compete for something, but who knows? Who knows who's gonna take him?
But at the same time, D Hop is still requesting number one money, and he's no longer a number one.
that's what
He
I'm.
yeah,
gonna take a pay cut. He gonna take a pay cut eventually.
But
but
we probably could get, Sanu or one of these guys, other guys we are talking about for a lot cheaper of an option than the D Hop. I mean, one thing I learned about Terry Fontenot is I'm not gonna pay you, man.
That's that New
Exactly.
Orleans. Hold up, that's that New Orleans mindset. You do
I
know
mean,
he
I
he,
don't care
he
what
hold on.
mine,
He right. We know he right from
but
out of the projects, so he understands how to shop with food stamps. So he's literally got money now. He ain't spending.
yeah, I mean, I don't care what mindset it is, but that's the mindset that we have now. It could be New Orleans or whatever you want to call it, but that's the mindset we have. The only person we paid was Jessie
So,
Bates. He has
so
proven he.
hold up. So hold up. Facebook user, which is our guy. I can tell you right now, we got our guy Michael Lataski on there, a man from Puerto Rico. He said D Hop wouldn't play with an inexperienced QB. Well, let's be real. He played with Kyler Murray. How much worse can it
Yes,
be?
sir.
So I'll be honest with you. I'm
But he
gonna
didn't
agree to
get
disagree
the
with
record.
you on that one. He played with Kyler Murray, who was literally a child at quarterback, a
He's
man
on
who
record.
can't even control the locker room. So when you
Still a
sit back
child
and
at
say
quarterback.
that, I'm gonna say you're wrong, brother. So
He's on record. I mean,
moving
he's
on.
on record is saying that
Hey,
he wants
hey,
to
hey!
be a third quarterback.
I got to bounce, guys. My grandson.
Go ahead and handle
So
that because
I'll
we
catch
don't
you.
need. Yeah, we don't need
All right,
we don't
go.
need any reports or any mishap reports from the Coast Guard. Please go get him.
please.
Y'all take care. I'll catch up with y'all. All right.
All right,
All
bro.
All
right,
right.
man.
See
Later.
you.
Stopping by.
So we appreciate Coach Brant for swinging by. You know, he's watching his grandsons, trying to make sure he doesn't go out there in that water. So my boys and the U.S. Coast Guard don't got to jump in the water to go get him. But I'll just say this here, man. Is we are, and I think Hop would be good for us because a lot that he would bring to the table, and it's a lot that he would open up. And here's the thing: we don't throw the ball 100 times a game or 40, even 40 times a game. So you're saving wear and tear on a guy that's older, but when you get the ball to him, it's going to be in clutch and key situations. So I think we would be able to use him when necessary. That's just my opinion. But we're gonna move on
But
to our final take for the
hold on, real
night.
quick, Ryan. Hold on, real quick. With the way our team is set up, right?
Mhm.
We're a heavy run based team.
Mm-hmm.
As a wide receiver who blocks downfield, which
Mhm.
D Hop does, that does a lot of wear and tear on the legs,
Mm.
especially if he gets hit low. So that's his biggest issue is his wheels. Now, do I believe D Hop would be a great mentor to Bird and all these guys in the locker room? Absolutely, because he's never been known as a cancer in the locker room. Everyone who talks about Nuke always speaks highly of him. My
Mhm.
thing is, we know that he has leg injuries. We know he has an ankle injury, hamstring injury. As much as we're going to be running the ball with Bijan and Tyler and Cordero, he's going to be blocking a lot. And in those pileups, someone could roll that ankle, that hamstring could get stuck in the ground or whatever the case is. So that's where my thing with D Hop is. It's not about his talent. It's the fact that of how we run our offense, and it's going to be a lot on his stress on his legs with blocking, especially if he's getting a really, really good block downfield. Anything can happen, and I've seen it in person. I've seen the dude get his leg snapped blocking somebody. So that's scary for me personally, just knowing his injury history.
But here's the thing. You know the risk when you put that helmet and shoulder pads on. You also know what type of game you're playing. It's a violent game. It's a collision sport. Collisions happen. But here's the thing. I'm looking at the fact that he could be productive in the red zone for us as well. As you know, because he's one of the most dangerous weapons, even as a KGO veteran in the red zone still. So that's my argument with that one. Got to move on to the next topic, gentlemen. So next we have rookie offensive lineman Matt Bergeron. Mental, physical, and his growth is a deciding factor if he's actually going to get a starting job. I'll say this. I think the kid is already coming in with a good attitude. He's pretty much making sure that he takes care of his business. He's in shape. You know, that's a big thing for young guys coming into the league because a lot of guys don't show up to camp in shape. So he's showing up in shape. He's physical. You know, he's been literally turning heads in practice. Do you think that this kid could possibly be starting next to Jake Matthews this year and they move Hendog back to center?
Yeah.
I do. I truly believe he will start. I mean, that's what they drafted him for, to move him in the guard. He's looking the part so far in OTAs and everything that he's throwing at him. They love his balance, his anchor, the way he sets up and does everything. I mean, he's multi-talented. He played multiple sports where he's an ice skater, if I'm not mistaken. So he has the background for it. I think he's going to be successful. He's going to be an all-pro for us in the next 3 years. That's just my opinion on it. I really like it.
He's from Canada, so you know the cold weather don't bother him. But I think he's gonna break out of that. He stayed down in the South for a couple of years. At the way we gonna have him. Gray Beard, what you got?
Yeah, he pretty much was drafted to be Jalen Mayfield's replacement. We all know. This is nothing new. I mean, come on now. But he tangible. I mean, he tough. He grasping the playbook. I like that. But we all know I say by the fourth game he's starting. I mean,
starts at the gate.
Yeah,
we won.
I was getting ready to say, you're being a little too generous. I think they're gonna throw him to the wolves and throw him in the fire right off the bat.
Oh, I actually think they're gonna beta tech Jalen Mayfield one before they put old Bergeron in. But
yeah, did you say Mayfield?
Yeah, he said it was gonna take Mayfield's job, and the thing is, Mayfield ain't on the field like that. So all I'm saying
in the corner, sir. Go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner right now. Jalen Mayfield, the turnstile himself, Mr. Miss Blocks, Mr. Trip over his own feet. That Jalen Mayfield?
Hey, don't get mad at me. I ain't drafted.
Go sit in the corner, sir. Go sit in the corner right now.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, hold up. If it's anybody that's gonna send anybody to the corner, that's me, dog. Don't we don't do that. Leave him alone. That's my job. I got it.
Well, you send him to the corner then.
Hey, come on.
No, wait a minute. I can't send him to the corner because he's right. Because Mayfield ain't been worth 2 dead flies smashed. That's the reason why we haven't been able to have consistency on that side with your boy Jake Matthews. Let's be real. Let's be real on that.
Am I lying though? That's all I'm saying. Am I lying?
No. The only consistency. Cam, just think about it, dog. Who have been consistent on the offensive line for us? Who has been consistent?
Lindstrom
and who else? As much as everybody don't want to say it, Matthews. Because Matthews quietly is a solid player. He might not be everybody's top favorite, but he's a solid player. He doesn't miss games. Exactly.
He do his job.
The only time people get pissed at him is because of the Super Bowl. But outside of that, you know, let's just be real. The man been consistent since he stepped foot on the field. He ain't his daddy. You know, Bruce Matthews was the man. Let's just be real. Bruce Matthews was the man. Well, we got our guy Mike talking trash or whatever, as we say. He said he's gonna send some pacifiers. He said you can mail them out. Oh. Now, see, now here's the funny part. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here. Now, Mike lives in Puerto Rico, but Mike is from New Jersey. I'm used to people from Jersey and the East Coast whining and crying. So he's got tons of pacifiers at the house, as you see. He wants to mail his out because think about it. He has a new pacifier every week. So when you talk about it, dog, we're not the ones that be crying and belly aching about stuff. You still crying about Desmond Ritter being the star. So we ain't gonna even go there, bro. That's my guy, Mike. I gotta be a little petty with him at least once. I gotta show. We ain't just gonna have you coming on here clapping at us like that. See, I clap cheeks. I clap cheeks around here, and I will clap yours right now, my boy. I love Mike, man. That's my guy right there. Hey, if anybody, I'll say this: he has one of the greatest collections of college memorabilia, from jerseys to T-shirts, jackets. Like literally, Mike is one of the best collectors of retro football, anything. You want it? Check my man Mike out, man. He literally sells products or whatnot. So check him out or whatnot. He's got more than enough. But anywho, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure this week. You already know how we getting down with it. We got the season coming up. We got the meet and greet tomorrow. Shout out to the first lady of the Birdcage. She will be out and about handing out those Birdcage flyers, man. You already know how it goes down, man. Definitely want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming through tonight. We're gonna try to set something up as training camp comes along. We're all gonna try to make it if we can. Some people have travel obligations. Coach Cam is in a situation where he's getting his boys ready for the season. Hopefully we can stream a game. And quiet as it's kept, man. We got some other things that's coming up or whatnot. We got some merchandise, got some posters, as you can see. But we got some stuff that's gonna be coming out, man. But it's only exclusive with the Birdcage. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me, Coach Grant for joining me tonight, and everybody that has worked behind the scenes that no one's talked about, from the first lady of the Birdcage. Shout out to Bree. Bree working her tail off, man. That's one of the hardest working folks out here. She grinds so hard you feel like you're back in the 90s at a slow jam. That's how hard she grinding for us out here, man. And then we got, last but not least, we got our man Scoop, who's always providing stuff. Turbo on the track. You already know our brother, our technology. I'm tongue twisted. My brother with the technology. He's providing us with the technology. He will be streaming games for all of you Falcon fans who are not within the region. It's called Turbo's Lifeline.
I like it.
The idea was cooked up earlier today by the name. It came from our own clutch, K-Dub Killian Worthy. We were just rapitating on the phone. So, I got to give my man his flowers. Thank you for coming up with the name. That was all on you, brother. Well, we just passed it along.
And we appreciate it. He will be your lifeline during the season.
And we got a shout out to Anti-Hate Music for giving us the hardest intro song in the game. So thank you to Anti-Hate Music. I'm gonna thank you guys for coming through. But at this point now, I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We definitely will have some stuff coming at you next week. Please tune in. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'll reveal that surprise next week. But got a lot of things going on. But we definitely appreciate your love. We definitely appreciate you guys coming through with us tonight. It means a lot to us because you didn't have to spend time with us, but you chose to anyway. So we're very thankful. And if you got anybody that you love, tell them that you love them. Whether they're friends, family. You know what I'm saying? We might argue amongst each other. We might talk a little trash here and there with our fellow Falcon fans. But, man, it's all family and it's all love, man. So we will see y'all later. And until then, man, you already know what it is, man. The Birdcage is always on the move. So thank y'all for your support. And y'all be easy. We out.